Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial video on AIOps, a Deloitte proprietary platform and ecosystem for machine learning and data science. In this video, we'll demonstrate how to navigate the Jupyter Lab environment in your notebook server and also clone a Git repository. With that introduction, let's go ahead and get started by clicking Connect on our server. As we can see, this Jupyter Lab instance provides access to kernels for three programming languages: Python, Julia, and R. You'll recall that I specified these when configuring my notebook server in an earlier video. For all of these languages, you have the ability to do your development in a notebook or console-like environment. To interact with your notebook server, you can do so from either the terminal or the Jupyter GUI here on the left. Let's start here with an example to show you how you would interact with your environment using the terminal. By clicking on the terminal, it opens up. And if I want to, just like if I were working locally on my laptop, I can make a directory. In this case, I'll call it test_dir. And if we wait a moment or click refresh, we can see that that directory pops up. If I want to now, I can go into this directory. And I have read and write permissions here. So if I want to, I can make an example text document, test.txt. And then if I use the ls command, I can see that it's now in my environment. If you prefer to work with the Jupyter Lab GUI, you can do that as well to build out your directory environment by using this plus and folders icon. And it adds a folder for you. And then if I want to, I can right click on it and use rename. And I'll name this testdir2. And then if I want to add a text document to it, similar to before, I can click into there and click on the plus sign. And from here, I use a text file, and then that text file is here, and I can write to it. Okay, now that we demonstrated making a directory and adding files, let's return to our first test directory and walk through an example of uploading data. If I want to do that, I can use the upload icon here. And I'll use this data here. And now if I want to go ahead and begin working on this data, I'll click the plus sign, which gives me access to any of my development environments. And in this case, I'll choose a Python notebook. And after importing pandas, a standard Python data wrangling library, and then reading my data, we can see that I'm able to read in this data since it's in this directory, and I could begin to work on it if I want to. Okay, as a final demonstration for this tutorial, let's say you want to git clone a repo. Perhaps it's one you previously set up, or one created by someone else at Deloitte, or a publicly available repo. In AIOps, you do this the same as on your local machine, and we'll start with a publicly available repo as an example. First, I'll go back to my terminal, go up a directory, and then I will go to this repo, and I will capture the HTTPS location of the repo. And use the git clone command, and then paste it in. One thing to mention for Windows users is that to copy from Jupyter Lab terminal, you need to use Control Insert rather than Control C. And similarly, to paste to the Jupyter Lab terminal, you use Shift Insert. Once you've copied the link into the terminal, just hit return and it should copy without issue. So this is a bigger repo and it'll take a minute. And now we can see that we've successfully copied all the objects and files and that the repository is in our directory. If we want to copy a Git repository from AIOps, we largely follow the same process. you can go to the toolbar and click on Code, and you'll be in the AIOps GitLab space. In this case, I'll use our AIOps training Git repo. And again, I'll take the HTTPS path to it. One thing to note is that although SSH is available, please only use HTTPS for cloning. So again, similar to before, I'll go in here, I'll use the git clone command, I'll use shift insert to paste it in, and then this time I will be prompted for my GitLab credentials, which we set in an earlier video. And once I enter those, I have no problem, and I can see that again the repo is now available in my notebook server. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll pick up where we left off by creating a branch for yourself of this repo, and then from there add some items to our branch before pushing it back up into our branch repository so that our code is safely stored and versioned by Git. Thank you again as always, and if you have questions, please consult the AIOps wiki linked at the end of this video.